Going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Screw candy, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. One day, very soon, gonna wake up on the moon. Brand new yacht and a McDonald's in my living room. Bright yellow Lamborghini, 50-meter swimming pool. Champagne every day, hey fam, what you do? Wanna hang, wanna chill? Oh, you got a mansion too? Oh, that's right, held on tight, jack titties every night. We was in way back when they tried to drop it down to 10. And she couldn't comprehend, Ace was strong until the end. Now let's retell it, Citadel they be sweating. Had enough of these felons, but the Ace we rebelling. Cause we never be selling, till we send it to heaven. Now we be out here yelling, hey screw you Kenny. Bought my wife a minivan to share with the boyfriend, but I pull up in the Benz, plate saying olive crayons. Going on an airplane, don't think we'll be back again. Celebrating every day like it's your birthday. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Today's expectation, probably more manipulation. FUD, your creation of a crooked operation. Bought more while it was low, got more dips than Trader Joe's. Oh, you thought that we'd let go? What the hell you take us for? If you spend your last dollar on bananas while living in squalor, we don't claim to be scholars. We the smooth brain dummies and we never stood taller. Yeah, we do this for love and we do this for honor. Apollo 11 ain't got nothing on us. We the planet of the apes and in MOAS we trust. MOASS, oh hell yes. Gonna send it into space, go fire up the jets. Done my DD, call me Elton John, Rocket Man. This is the way, gonna be gorillionaires. Ground control to Major Tom, we about to have liftoff. Call us Neil Armstrong, gonna keep holding on. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the Ace won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon.
Moon gang, we are back at it again, Daniel. Back at it again. AMC up 9.9% on the day, currently trading at 45.80. GME currently up 4.1% on the day, trading at 222. Tesla still down 3%. Lucid's up 8%. Bitcoin is trading just below 66,000. Ethereum just below 4,800. Solana 250. Cardano recaptured $2, actually pushed almost 215 at one point, currently at 211. Crazy stuff. Loopring 182, 183. Lots of action. Lots of action today. Clearly, quite a bit of excitement in AMC as we go into the earnings announcement. So some of the results will come out pretty much right after the market closes today, 4 p.m. But the earnings call, the webcast, which I will be live streaming, we'll make that its own stream. I'll start it like 15 minutes before, but that starts at 5 p.m. So in 3 hours, Adam Aaron and the leadership team at AMC will be doing their Q3 earnings announcement. And we're going to be doing it live here. So what's going to happen is right before I'll give you the rundown of the expectations. We'll listen to all of it. And then right after, I'll kind of give you a rundown of what it means. So we'll do the prep work. We're going to listen to the whole thing. And then I'll let you know my thoughts on it. And that'll obviously all be happening in just real time. But right now, this is nuts. AMC had its official breakout, that top yellow horizontal line at 44.50. Big deal. The fact that we got above it, now we're holding above it. That's nice. That's nice. Obviously, I still have all of my AMC shares, but relative to this morning, I also increased my position by just getting some. I was talking with everyone in the Moon Gang Discord, and they're like, we're all having a little bit of a fun time. So I bought, for my portfolio, a small amount of lottery calls just in case there's an earnings announcement beat. So they expired this Friday. Like I said, it's with this, I don't want this call position. I went long on calls that expired this Friday to be thought of as like a good investment. It's the flip of a coin. It really, really is. Either we beat on earnings or we don't, and the stock will react accordingly. But with so much buying today, I think it's one or two, or maybe even a combo of both of those things. Number one, enthusiasm. A very good chance it's that. People are enthusiastic. They know there's earnings. They're like, hang on. I see a lot of people going to the movies. I hear of all these new box office records. Cinemark beat on their earnings. People might just be enthusiastic. Or another very real possibility could be maybe someone knows something we don't. Or, like I said, could be a combo of the two. Could be people are enthusiastic. Maybe someone knows something that they shouldn't be trading on and they're trading on it anyway. I don't know. This is all complete conjecture, but this is kind of that fine line between a reasonable, like active swing trade versus, hey, 50-50 shot. You're flipping a coin. Either we do or don't beat. And I am clearly bullish on AMC. I'm pulling for the leadership team. I hope it works out well. Like I said, I made it a very small percentage of my overall portfolio. A very small percentage of my overall portfolio, because when it comes to a 50-50 guess, I don't really like those odds for like a hefty position. So I just wanted a little bit more skin in the game as we head into the earnings, and I'm hoping for some crazy post-market action, but I'm just trying to be transparent about where I'm at and my positions and everything going on there. But right now, AMC looking great, GME looking solid, multiple rejections at 224, 225, clearly a region resistance there. Let's see if it can make a base and kind of get moving into the remainder of the day. We have about a little 2 hours to go until market closes. I wanted to give you the extension today, mainly because things are going nuts. But beyond that, tomorrow's going to be like an oddly shortened day just because I'll be doing the morning stream like normal. I'll have to end it a couple minutes early, but I will be missing the afternoon stream tomorrow because we'll be doing the town hall with Charles Payne up in New York. So got to get that all squared away, and it'll be fun. And for me, it's always enjoyable to get the word out of what's going on to more people. So it is, obviously, if you're watching this stream, there's a good chance you've been an ape, most likely an ape for a while, and you kind of know the details of what's going on. But depending on how you define us winning, I think a strong aspect of us winning really is the more people in the fight. The more, the merrier. So sometimes you have to take these opportunities to speak with other people, get the argument of the apes out there, try to get more light shined on what in the hell is actually going on in this scenario. Because like I say, I truly believe that the truth is on our side, and the more people that understand our story, the more people that are going to resonate with our particular fight right now. So I'm excited for it. So I figured, hey, might as well go a little bit over time today, little extra long stream in the morning, extra long stream in this afternoon, and then we're going to do the earnings announcement. And I'll start that stream. So the earnings announcement's at 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll start the stream like 15 minutes before, just so everyone knows. Hope you're having an apish day. What's going on, the AR guy? James Dean, be careful in New York, brother. There's guys mugging people on scooters and segways there now. I mean, I'm not bringing anything of importance with me whatsoever, so I hope I'm not a mugging target. The actual short interest of AMC, all we have is an estimation. I don't know if there's like a physical way to get the real time, like a real way. It's always lagging behind. As of now, it's estimated at 16.6%. But once again, that's an estimation. When you're saying real, I don't think there's a way to get real time short interest of what it is accurately. Once again, it's estimation. It's estimation work. NFTs delivered to AMC holders as a dividend gift to F. Kenny. I mean, I don't know how NFTs would do that. I hear some people talking about this like NFT dividend thing. This is very much a creative way to do a dividend. I've never heard of one before. Most of the time, dividends are coming from the company's capital reserve and they give it to you for being a shareholder. And because of that, when they're giving money to shareholders for being shareholders, generally companies that do that don't have debt, and AMC has debt. So a quote unquote normal dividend, not likely at all. And this isn't my own conjecture. This is like literally what Adam Aaron has said. And I know some people are talking about an NFT dividend, and we would just have to hear the details of it. We would very much have to hear the details of what that even really like includes. Like, I think there's way more questions about this rather than like actual answers of what's going on. And to my understanding, just from my light Googling, whoa, my duck. It sounds like this is a lot of conjecture, a lot of conjecture. So we just need to wait and see how AMC is specifically going to pull this off, or if they're going to pull this off. I don't think this has been confirmed by Adam Aaron. I mean, not from what I've seen has it been confirmed by Adam Aaron. So we're just waiting. We're waiting. And honestly, we could all guess right now, or we could just wait 3 hours and we're going to find out the exact answer of what's going on. But I don't want expectations to be set of like, oh, like we all have to expect a dividend, because the last commentary I know of from Adam Aaron is that he said a dividend. He said this in the last earnings announcement, that as of now, based on what's going on, a dividend is not likely. I'm assuming he was referring to like a normal cash dividend of like how things typically go in the world of dividends. So maybe they came up with like a new creative one. Possible. I'm not going to rule it out. I just I don't want expectations to be there of like, oh, we're definitely getting a dividend, because among other things, I think one of the biggest detriments to this community is you have too many people setting up unmet expectations. Oucha. Glad to see AMC and GME having sympathy play with my morning movement. Shout out. We're all getting a free bag of popcorn instead. Don't you get that with Investor Connect? When AMC goes positive on debt, then you can talk about dividend. That's how I think about it. That's what happens in a high majority of companies, is when they go positive and they're in the cash position to pull something like that off, that's when they get going. Have you interviewed Mark C and known about OSK and digital dividend? I know about Overstock, and we're talking about the specific NFT. I don't know about IEX orders being auto canceled on Fidelity. I haven't heard of that about that. But coming back to the Overstock thing, that is apples to oranges, because this is the assumption is that the NFT would somehow specifically relate to NFTs, like an AMC based NFT. So once again, apples to oranges. You can only compare it to an AMC specific and an NFT dividend in the past, which there has been none. So I don't know where people are getting a basis of what an AMC NFT dividend would look like. Like I said, like there's nothing to compare this to. And I think a lot of people are just running with this. I don't know where it got started, like this NFT thing. I mean, if I had to, is it just exclusively going to be Reddit? Is this going to be one of those things? AMC NFT dividend. If I hit enter here and it ends up the first and only result is Reddit, I'm going to lose my mind. Holy shit. Look at that. First one is Reddit. All right, let me see if there's any actual news on this. Hang on, there's something on Barron's. What is this? The fact that the first thing is AMC, like, that's comical. In Moon stocks, GameStop, AMC at different points this year were more than 20-fold. Special purpose acquisition, DWAC. All right, no. So it's not in the Barron's article. Let's just see what this... Oh, wait, and this one's from... AMC, following the GME example, could release a dividend crypto token for zero monetary value, NFT style. So this is back in June. So with this, I think this is actually where I got my information, was understanding where the community is at by reading this one from June. I don't see anything new. But also, some people are going to miss the count, and that's going to be noticed the nail in the coffin if AMC decides to pay 0.2 per NFT release and screams. If the dividend NFT happens, that's awesome. But do not have the expectation that that's like what you're going into. This seems to be a lot of conjecture. Someone posted a video that said confirmed AMC dividend and this is a lot of conjecture. That's a very dangerous territory to be in. A very dangerous territory. If it happens, that's sick. That's good news. I'm excited to hear about it. I'm excited to have, like, I want it to happen. I'm not against it. I'm just trying to temper everyone to be like, I don't want you to go into this and think that somehow we missed on earnings if they don't announce this. That's my only concern. I'm not against it. I want it to happen. I think it'd be cool. At a minimum, I think it would like just stir up some good PR pieces. I think it would get people excited about it. So I'm in no way against it. I'm just saying, do not expect a normal dividend and don't even really expect this one. If it happens, great, but do not go into this thinking that like, okay, this has to happen, or like that's not good for the stock. That's like literally my only commentary on it. When the shorts start to cover, will we see the volume and price change today or after 48 hours? No, you see it instantaneously. That's it. When it happens, all the trades, people, this was from a while ago, but people had an assumption that they somehow like delay your trade being executed. You could literally see your trade on the time and sales. Like it happens, it's on, like, you can see it like in real time as your trade. You could be like, you could buy like a weird amount and be like, hey, look, those are my shares right there. Definitely possible. There's not a 48-hour delay. The delay that I think you're referring to is more so of when the shares can be returned. So you cover your short by buying stock. So remember, to go short, you sell stock. To cover the position, as in to get out of the position, you buy stock back. After buying it back, you have to wait for the trade to settle, and then you return it to the original owner. The settlement is 2 days right there. So that's, the trade is real time, the impact on price is real time, but to give the shares back, as in return shares on Ortex, when we're looking at those numbers, that's the 2-day delay. And I know with this, like, it's weird and like there's a lot of things going on, but it is important to understand of like, okay, like this piece fits here, and it's complex. And that's why, like, if I'm confusing anyone, I'm more than happy to try to explain it in a different method, a different mannerism. But yes, it's a complex system. That's the market, and it's useful for us to like all learn a little bit more about what's going on. Total not sus plummeting straight down. Don't say that. Plummeting straight down. AMC is up 6%. Like, I really don't get this. Like, people's mindset, like as soon as they see red, they're like, this is manipulation. This, what do you like? No one was claiming manipulation when it ripped from 1040 all the way up to 1130. And like, it's weird because like, I'm not saying like, I don't like this. Like I said, I'm long on AMC, but like to scream that this is manipulation and this is suspect, and like Gary Gensler needs to look in the AMC price action from 2 p.m. till 2:20. Like what? Like, if you had no issue with this movement from 1040 to 1130, if you thought this was like normal market movement, which to me, this was good momentum buying. And right now it seems like day traders are bailing on the position. I think a lot of day traders saw this momentum, played into it. They know about the earnings, they know about the apes. And right now it ran up to almost a whole dollar value. And they're like, okay, time to pull the ripcord on it. No one is selling, Matt. What does that mean? What does no one is selling mean? Who asked that, or who told me that? AC true, AC true. Yes, many people are selling right here. volume, 52 million. 52 million shares of AMC were sold today. 52 million shares were bought today. That's what volume is. It's the same amount of buying. Every buyer has a seller. Every seller has a buyer. That's how the market works. I think what you mean is apes aren't selling, which that's fine. But if apes are just holding, if you hold stock, you are no longer influencing the price of the stock. Like if you're sitting on, it doesn't matter if you're sitting on 1 share, 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares, 100,000 shares. If you are sitting on shares, you are literally no longer impacting stock whatsoever. What impacts the price of the stock is the current buying and the current selling. Are people meeting on the ask? Are they meeting on the bid? How aggressive is the buying? How aggressive is the selling? To say the concept that nobody's selling, look at the volume. Like it's to say no one's selling, it's as nonsensical as saying no one's buying. It just doesn't make sense. And it's a good soundbite. I admit that. That's like catchy to be like, yeah, no one's selling this thing. It is a good soundbite. If you want to use it as like a calling card of the apes and it's a good soundbite, but understand there's also like literally no logical reasoning to it, like literally whatsoever. It just, that's what volume is. You handle a lot of dumb comments with restraint and succinct explanations. I appreciate that. I don't think these are like intentionally dumb. I think people are spreading false information and it confuses a lot of people. We just need to be honest. We need to be honest and all on the same page. So when you have just these sound bites of like, whatever it is, like no one's selling. Yeah, people are selling. There's literally no way around it. That's what volume is. If you want to say that apes aren't selling and apes are still in the cause and apes aren't pulling the ripcord, okay, that's a completely different thing and I'm on board with that. But, and I know a lot of people are still using that 80% number, which actually this was a topic we were discussing in Discord about how that's like a bit strange because that 80% number of 80% of the float is owned by apes. Remember, that's from early June. We're right now in early November. So I don't know how fair it is to use that number anymore. Like it could be higher, it could be lower, it could be the exact same. I'm just saying it seems a bit weird to use a single data point from July, August, September, October, November from 5 months ago. We're almost like half a year away. It seems strange to me that we still use that 80% number. And I'm not saying there's a better number. I'm not saying, oh, we should use 70. We should use 90. I'm saying I don't even know what number to use. I'm saying I wish Adam Aaron did another share recount so we had an idea of ownership. Stop being bearish, LOL. So it's comments like that. And I know you're like a nobody keyboard warrior. Like I get that. But once again, for us to win this is a highly complex system. This is a highly complex fight. We have to be accurate. We have to be right. Like we have to know what we're saying. You don't want the media to pick up on something like that. It's not a good look for us. People are not going to join our cause if we're saying no one's selling. Like if we say that and then mainstream media like AMC apes, GME apes thinks no one's selling. And like when it comes to media, you don't have the opportunity to be like, wait, that's not what I mean. Like I kind of meant it this way. Actually, that's the issue. I get what you mean. I get what everyone means when they're saying that type of rhetoric. It makes sense. But please think of it through the lens of how the outside world is going to view us if that's the one soundbite that gets out. Because coming back to what I was saying before, it's incredibly important that we're presented in a good light to get more people to join the cause. That's incredibly important. So as much as it might be fun to say and you rile up other apes, think about, you don't want to give the people who are against us like any more ammunition, because if you give them the opportunity to drag the movement and particularly the stock and our knowledge of the stock and our knowledge of the stock market through the mud, they're going to do it. Like if we give them that opening, of course they're going to take that opening. So that's why it's incredibly important for us to like actually know what we're talking about. It's incredibly, incredibly important. He is being honest. This is what people need to hear. Oh, well, yeah, I'm not going to just sit here and tell people. I mean, there's enough other social media people who will tell you, like, if you want to just be here to be like, for someone to confirm your bias and be like, this is what I want to hear today. Oh, like, I mean, I appreciate you hanging out, but you definitely stumbled it's the wrong live stream. Like, I'm not going to tell you something that's incorrect just to comfort you. I'm going to tell you the truth of what's going on. That's insane. Why would I just want to like pump up your confirmation bias when your own money's at play? That's insane. That's super, super immoral. The people who do that, either they're immoral or they just don't know what they're talking about. Did I listen to Lou? No, I did not. Further builds my case for an anger translator. We probably should get one. You want to raise the buy on that? Can't just hold it if you believe the stock. Buy on the up as well as the dip. You want to rise. Buy on the up. Can't just hold if you believe the stock. Buy on the up as well as the dip. I see what you're saying. Well, like, and that comes back to just the generic statement of like holding. When you first created your position, you positively influence the stock. If you're now just holding, you are no longer having any influence on the stock. Not positive, not negative. It's just no influence. Holding alone, there's no demand, there's no supply. Like, you're just sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting. If you increase your position, obviously that's another positive event. You're representing buying demand and that pushes the stock up. And if you choose to get out of your position, that's representing supply, and then that adds to like the selling pressure, like the downside. But it all comes down to your active trades, not your active holds. Not confirming my bias. Shill, do you actively watch your Discord during chat? Yes. So you're going to want to go to Lil Will. You're going to want to go to the Matt questions. The Matt-live questions. What is this? I hold, and I'm helping hold the line by holding this position. That's what I believe. So Natasha, you're right, because holding is obviously better than selling. So like, I agree with what you're saying in the sense of you're holding the line by not feeling that pressure to sell, because when you sell, that's providing like selling pressure. You're adding to the active supply, because remember, the price is always the equilibrium between the buying demand and the selling demand. Who's being more aggressive? So if you're thinking of it as, I kind of see what you're saying there of holding your position. You're ensuring that you're not adding to the active selling pressure, which is obviously better. So like, best is buying, better than that is holding. And then obviously it's a negative event to sell. Disagree with you entirely, Matt. Holding your position, you're keeping those shares from being freely traded, thus putting buying pressure on the more limited supply, driving the hedgies to naked short more. Okay, I mean, you could disagree with me, but I think you're making some jumps there. It's folks, it's very important to understand that it comes down to the active trades. Look at the time in sales. It's the time in sales is literally the most recent price. That's where a buyer and a seller agreed. If you're just holding, okay, theoretically, I don't know if we would ever see this in practice, but theoretically, let's say that the apes, okay, here's the thought process for us. Let's say that AMC only has 10 shares. That's it. There's no more, no less in existence. Or you could use this for GME either. If there's only 10 shares, right? No more, no less. If apes owned all of those, like all 10, like institutions didn't own, market makers didn't own. If no one owned anything, we own all 10. Like me and 9 of you watching right now, we each own one, we own all 10, and we refuse to sell. AMC doesn't trade then. There's going to be no movement like whatsoever. And okay, so now you're talking about a scenario where 100% of the outstanding shares are owned and there's no movement. So the price will be whatever the most recent purchase was at, whoever like number 10 was, whoever that person was, whatever they decided to buy at, that would be the price. And then from there on out, as long as out of those 10 people, no one's selling, there's literally no price movement. The reason AMC moves is because there's new people buying, new people selling simultaneously. That's like what the price is. So I think some of the inherent axioms of what makes a stock move, whether up or down, I think a lot of us need to get onto the same page of that. Remember, price does not move unless people are actively trading. That's what causes price to actually move. What was your YOLO strike? Not financial advice. Current calls are up 48% for next Friday. 48 strike. Jay Keith. I believe mine is the same. Confirm my bias. New York Giants are the best team in the NFC East. Hey, Mike, if you want me to agree with that, I'll give you that confirmation bias. How does pressure affect the price if the price is determined by bid ask? Okay, this is an excellent question. Okay, Jay Bogey, let me repeat that for everyone. How does pressure affect the price if the pressure is determined by the bid ask? So, okay, let me, I don't know if this is gonna pop up. Where is it? Okay, so for all of you who are watching a level 2 right now, let's just say you're on Webull and you see the bid on one side and the ask on the other side. I don't know if my camera's flipped, so it might be bid over here and ask over here, but whatever. You have a column of bid, you have a column of ask, right? Just so you know, if you're looking at it on Webull, that is the level 2 for exclusively the New York Stock Exchange, one of the 16 lit exchanges. But anyway, that's besides the point. It's not all lit exchanges. It's no dark pools and it's no market makers. It's literally like a lit exchange, one of the 16, one of the 12 major ones, I would say. But anyway, this is a great question. So your bid, what is the bid? Think about that. The bid is all the people who have limit buy orders. So if you look at AMC, hang on, can I just bring this up? Let me figure this out. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. This will be way easier for me to explain if I can show you. Sorry, I'm just letting this load. Okay, and I think I have it to the moon. All right, right here. I think you guys can all see this. So right here, let me bring up AMC. This is a really good question, and I think we can get into some good discussion here. So time and sales, these are like the literal trades coming through like this. When you see the exact time, you see the exact price, and you see the exact size. So that means like right here, for example, if I were to freeze one of these at 232, a buyer and a seller agreed on the price 44.64 for whatever 500 shares. This is the time and sales. Like these are the live, like, hey, a buyer and a seller, they agreed on the amount, they agreed on the price, and like cash went one way and the shares went the other way. That's the time and sales. It's like the literal trades that are happening. If you trade a weird amount, like if you were to buy, I don't know, 69 shares or 6,969 shares, you would see that. Like you can see your own trades come through, especially if they're not broken up into smaller increments. But you can see your literal own trades come through on the time and sales, especially if you're trading right here, this level 2. Just so you know, we are talking about the New York Stock Exchange. Webull doesn't have access to the other ones. But anyway, let's talk about this bid and ask and whatever is going on right here. So on the left side, you have the bid. What is the bid? Those are all sitting buy orders. So basically, someone is trying to buy 100 shares at 44 68, like I know this is moving very quickly. Like I wish I could freeze it, but the bid are all sitting buy orders. They're not filled yet. It's someone attempting to buy a certain size at a certain price. So the highest bid up here is the highest willing buyer. And then on the right side, you have the ask. These are all sitting sell orders, people trying to get out. So the bid ask, also known as the spread, the bid is the highest willing buyer. The ask is the lowest willing seller. So you have bid and ask, and the bid is going up, the ask is coming down. So you have the sellers here, the buyers here. And as you get close, that's the closest people, like they're the people who are closest to actually exchanging. And then that's the price that you're trading at. And usually you just bounce between the bid and the ask. Like sometimes you're meeting on the ask, sometimes you're meeting on the bid, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, bid is a bunch of sitting buy orders. Ask is a bunch of sitting sell orders. And that's the spread, is between the highest bid and the lowest ask. That's the spread of any equity, ETF, option, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on. So if these are your sitting buy orders and these are your sitting sell orders, to come back to the original question of like, well, how do you get the movement? Hey, duck kid with a duck headband. You're telling me every buyer has a seller, every seller has a buyer. You're going on about these bids. You're going on about these asks. How does a price move? That's a great question. And this is getting to the pressure of the situation. So right here, the lowest ask, let's just make up a value. Let's just say it's $45. Right now it's like $44.72, but just for the ease of this conversation, let's say it's 45 flat. Let's say someone out there in the world is trying to sell 1,000 shares at 45. Let's say someone sees that and they're like, hey, I want AMC at 45. Let me buy that. You buy all 1,000 shares. The next one's at 45.01. And let's say there's 100 shares there. Another person's like, I missed 45, but I still like AMC at 45.01. So they buy that. You can see that you're slowly like kind of knocking away at the ask. You're taking the ask out, and that's more aggressive buying. Every time you're filling the ask, like buying all of those shares off of the right side, that's aggressive buying. And then if you have sellers selling to the bid, like, and you're going lower, like 44.99, 44.98, 44.97. If you're continually selling to them, that's selling aggression, that's selling pressure. So the way it goes up, this equilibrium, is aggressive buying time and time again. You're just basically, all these sitting sell orders, they're just getting filled and you're taking them out, and the price just goes higher and higher and higher. And that's when you see these extreme events of like just FOMO buying, of people just hitting market buy, market buy, market buy. That's what you're doing. You're meeting at the ask and you're just taking it out. You're taking out the entire supply of people who are attempting to sell. So that's the pressure argument of, okay, do we have buying pressure? Do we have selling pressure? It really comes down to, are the buyer and the seller meeting on the ask, which would be buying pressure, or are the buyer and the seller meeting on the bid, which would actually then be selling pressure because you're going down. So I hope that kind of clears up, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. In this example, you aren't including hedge funds, market makers, and day traders agreeing to lower price between each other. That doesn't really make sense. You're always between the bid and the ask. So for example, right here, these bid and these ask, you don't know who that is. This could be a market maker. This could be hedge funds. This could be institutions. You don't know where these orders are coming from. You just know that there is an order for a certain size at a certain price. This could be, like I said, this could be day traders, swing traders, institutions, pensions, insiders. You just don't know who it is. You just know someone put that order out there to buy and or sell, depending on what side it is. This idea of, okay, let me put it this way. Let's say that I'm a malicious player and I'm right now actively trying to lower AMC. Let's say that that's happening. If I wanted to drop AMC, let's just say to like $43 right here, and I'm like, hey, and you're also a malicious player, and you're like, yeah, let's drop AMC to 43 right now. Honestly, how would you do that? Because look at the bid is so built out. You can't skip over bid. So like, just because like I want to lower it and I'll sell it to you at 43 and like, haha, we're in cahoots, like, and we're trying to do something. We're trying to drop this price. how you literally cannot do that because of the bid. Like you have to override all of these different, like you have to fill out all of this liquidity. There's just too much here. You can't skip over orders. And that's why we have the NBBO, the National Best Bid and Offer. All trades are executed within the NBBO. So if you're trying to go to the south side of the National Best Bid, you literally cannot. It's impossible. That rule is very easy for all of the markets to enforce. You can't simply get a fill unless there's no liquidity there. So right now in this example, if you wanted to instantaneously drop it to 43, the only way that would be possible, the literal only way that would be possible, is if there's no liquidity between 44.61 and 43. That would have to be the highest buyer. That's the only way to do it. And the same could be said on the exact opposite. Right now, if you and I wanted to jump AMC all the way up to 75, and I was like, hey, let's get the price to like shoot up. Let's get people excited. I'll sell you one share at 75 and we'll get the price there. You can't do it because there's too much liquidity on the ask side. You can't just skip over all of these. I hope that kind of clears it up. Like, just remember, we're always trading within the NBBO, the National Best Bid and Offer. You can't skip over the sitting buy orders. You can't skip over the sitting sell orders. They either have to be fulfilled or the orders have to be pulled off the market by whoever placed them on the market. I think for ADA, Sunday swap will help it run in the next few weeks, according to Cryptos Are Up. What up, Moon Gang? What's going on, Paul? No More Marquez is now call you Matt Boogers. But J Boogie Sweatpants, like I hope, seriously, it was like an excellent question. And I think it's good for more of us to learn about the actual mechanisms of how things are working and how to interpret it, because there's a lot of just like wild conjecture out there about things. Jordan Smith, but why male models? One of the best movies ever. What about 70% off exchange orders? This is a good question. Very, very good question. So off exchange trading. So like what I just showed you on Webull, that's the New York Stock Exchange. Obviously there's the NASDAQ, IEX, blah, blah, blah. There's many more. So off exchange trading, one of the big problems with it, and what you're going to hear is the argument that, okay, it hampers price discovery. And it truly does hamper price discovery. So to actually understand that, to have a fruitful conversation on how it hampers price discovery, is market makers, we have that regulation that all trades are going to be executed within the NBBO. So you have the bid, you have the ask, all trades have to be within this bound. But what's weird is these bounds, the bid and the ask, it's set by exactly what I showed you. It's being set by people throwing up buy orders, people throwing up sell orders. You have the argument of buying pressure, of selling pressure. That's what's setting the NBBO. It's the equilibrium of all willing buyers and all willing sellers on lit exchanges. That's a very important asterisk. If you're taking a note right now, this is where you circle it, you highlight it, you star it, you tattoo it onto your skin. It's whatever you need to do. This price discovery, it's all on lit exchanges. It's people throwing bid orders onto the lit exchange. It's people throwing sell orders onto the lit exchange. So right now, and you said 70, it's closer to 60 right now on AMC and GME. And for a normal equity, it's closer to 45.50. But for the ease of math, let's just say 50.50 for this conversation. That means that half the orders for these equities are going up onto a lit exchange. People are putting their bid order, people are putting their ask order, and the rest of the world sees it. The issue here is the entire other half, they are not assisting in price discovery, whether up, down, sideways, backwards, inwards, it doesn't matter. They're not assisting with it because they're getting executed by a market maker who's just basing their prices off of the NBBO. So basically, the order gets sent to the market maker accepts it. They look at what's going on lit exchanges. They're like, oh, okay, here's the NBBO. We're going to like execute it somewhere in here. And then they move on. But opposed to the fact, if you were to execute your order on a lit exchange, you're actually assisting price discovery. Like, are people putting higher bid orders? Are they putting lower bid orders? Are they putting higher ask orders? Are they putting lower ask orders? So in terms of helping with the size of the NBBO, how wide is the spread, and where is the spread even located? Is it higher or is it lower? Market makers don't do that, like, at all. The order gets sent to a market maker. The market maker looks at lit exchanges and they're like, okay, we have to execute it somewhere in here. So they use that almost as like a basis of like, okay, like we'll get it executed there. And that's the argument of how they're not helping with price discovery. And it also obviously makes the market much more inefficient. And just so you know, with NBBO, that's only on, that regulation of trading within the NBBO, that's only on during normal market hours from 9:30 to 4. It does not exist in pre-market or post-market, just so we all know there. J Boogie Sweatpants, thanks, bud. I understand it much more now. Happy to. See, no, like, and that's it's an excellent question. It really, really is. What is my opinion on log the float? Conceptually, I agree with it. I do. I really, really do. My issue is just like, how is it all confirmed? I heard some people were just saying through pictures. So like, is someone going through it and just like confirming millions of pictures? And then if it's just a picture, can't people just edit it and make it seem like they have more or less just to screw with us? So like, I like where it's going and I think it's a very good effort. I just have issues with the validity of it. And I really wish Say Technologies didn't get purchased by Robinhood, honestly. Like, I think that's one of my biggest problems with it. What else do we have? What are my expectations after hours? I mean, no one knows it for sure, but I'm going into this pretty freaking bullish. I think today, I mean, AMC is currently up 7.3%, GME is up 2.7%. So the moon crowd, it's excited. There's enthusiasm. In terms of the numbers of are we going to beat or not? I mean, Cinemark beat last week and AMC is in the same sector. But on top of that, there's a very ravenous, highly passionate crowd supporting it. So to me, that's pretty important. Like, I think not only will they'll beat, but they'll beat on a greater relative rate because people are going out of their way to support AMC. So I don't think I'm being naively optimistic. It's just trying to read what's going on culturally right now as it relates to AMC. AA sold Say Technologies. AA sold it? No, Adam Aaron doesn't own Say Technologies. Donko, you're being a donkey. Adam Aaron never owned Say Technologies. Where do people come up with these comments? Donko, Adam Aaron sold Say Technology to Robinhood. No, that is completely false, verifiably false. Very easy to disprove. He never owned it. So how could he sell it? Say Technologies was an independent company that various different boards have used to submit questions, essentially. And that company was bought by Robinhood. I'm about to clean some rings, so I wanted to shout out Ketchup for cleaning your very real girlfriend's ring. Legit, soak for 30 seconds, rinse, dry. All right. Artsy Cart, what's going on? Shout out Ketchup. I wonder why. Why does ketchup help clean a ring? Adam Aaron is Ken Griffin. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. Is there a reason why NBBO not on extended hours? I'm sure they came up with some reasoning similar to when they came up with the reasoning on 13Fs. They don't have to report short positions. It seems illogical to me. I don't get it, but it just is how it is. Ketchup is acidic. Oh. Because of the vinegar. Acid and salt. Hey, you learn something every day. I can honestly say I've never cleaned a ring using ketchup, but hey. New life events are on the horizon. Hey, Matt, do 100 push-ups and I'll buy 10 more AMC shares. Like, do 100 straight? I don't think I could do 100 push up straight. I could probably do like 3 of 33 and then like one of them at 34, but I don't think I could do 100 straight. I know I couldn't do 100 straight. You guys would just laugh at me. We are up 7%. What is everyone beaching about? I don't know. There's like a second of red and like the group gets very, very dramatic. But folks, it's A-okay. We are up 7%. We have a huge technical breakout. People are excited going into an earnings announcement. There's absolutely no reason to be like, oh man, like the Bears are winning right now. Like, we are doing so phenomenally well today. Like, this is what a way to kick off a week. Like, seriously, this is absolutely phenomenal. And I see people saying like, we're crashing. This is manipulation. Now we're up 7%. Like, if being positive by 7% is like a bad manipulated day down, I think we just have a difference in how like words are defined. If a 7% gain is like hedge fund short manipulation to the downside, I'll take that literally every single day. If we just grow 7% a day, I mean, I would lose my freaking mind. Like, that would be the coolest thing ever. So sign me up for it. It's just, I think it's like a weird definition of what like manipulation is. Up 7% must be a short ladder attack. It was a short ladder attack, not manipulation, leading to a 7% gain. People are talking about LCID beast mode right now. And loop ring crushing it. It doesn't hurt to add ketchup. You purchase with hedgy funds, it'll shine bright like a diamond hand. The artsy cart, I appreciate that. Man, oh man, what a day. Lucid ripping. Loop ring tapping $2 flat. Love it. Hopefully it can break above this. Maybe get us an additional run. Loop ring up 33%, I guess, in the past 24 hours, I think is how it would be doing this. Loop ring crushing it. If you want loop ring, and the reason we're even talking about it is because it's the crypto, it's the blockchain associated with GameStop and its NFT marketplace. It's on Coinbase. That's where I got mine. I bought mine last week around $1.36 to $1.37. So I am pleasantly surprised. I'm up like 50% in a couple days. If I own shares several months, then day trade them a few times, does that trigger a worse tax scenario, or does time bridge? But the time cliff is a year. You need to own for a year, at least in the US. I don't know where you are in this. I'm not a tax professional, but you have short-term and long-term capital gains. So for long-term, you need to hold it for a year without doing anything. You're in it for a couple months and trading it. It sounds like that's still short term. I feel you're wrong, and that is manipulated. Okay. The fact when it's consolidating and all of a sudden a massive dip, what every brain is thinking sell at the same time? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Every brain is thinking it. I mean, you have to think about what you're actually saying right here. So what it's saying is, you just look at this volume. It's not every brain. I guess I don't even quite know how to respond to this, just because like you would look at the volume from this, I don't know, 20-minute period. The only point I'm trying to make is, if you think that this is manipulation from 2 to 2:15, whatever this is, you should also probably think that this is manipulation from 10:40 to 11:30. So, and if you do think that, if you're like, no, they manipulated it up and then they manipulated it down, at least you're being consistent in your thought. And okay, we could debate if that makes sense or not. But if you think that, I just don't see the difference here. If you're like, this is manipulation, this is a short ladder attack, then like, what's the difference in this run up? It's just, to me, it seems like you like everything that supports your long position, but then if it hurts you, you just yell manipulation. Like it doesn't, you have to be consistent. Like to see consistent red, either you have issues with consistency, like as in all selling and then all buying equally, but you can't pick and choose just because of like what is your position. That doesn't add up to me. 7% a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, and if whatever, everyone has their own opinions, but at the end of the day, we're up 7%. This is like a gigantic gain. This is awesome. This is super, super good. Not only is it a nice 7% gain, but it's a technical breakout. We are right at that level, 44.50. Closing above this, if we hit 4 p.m., we have about an hour to go. We're on extra volume. The average volume on AMC over the past 10 days has been 38 million. And the volume today with an hour to go, all the power hour, is still 57 mil. Like we're already above the 10-day average and we still have 60 minutes of trading. Technical breakout, beautiful percentage gain. The possibility of a nice fundamental development in after hours today. This is crazy good. This is like phenomenally good. There's in my humble opinion, a lot of reason to be excited right now. I would have agreed with you if GME didn't move, but we know that there's people who are just trading these the exact same. So it makes sense that they move together. If we see that whatever is out there, there's money flowing into and out of AMC and GME simultaneously because they're wrapped up as the same thing. Like people think of them the same. They're like, oh, if it's very rare that you see AMC and GME have like very distinct days. I'm not saying that they're like always going to be the exact same thing, but usually they have the same like kind of rough stumbling throughout the day. They stumble in a similar manner. But that also once again makes sense to me because people are buying and selling because they think they should. So it very quickly becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I don't know why GME selling off is like confirming in your mind that AMC is being manipulated. I think the manipulation is much more in the world of the extreme amount of market internalization. I think the manipulation is more so proven and logically consistent with poor price discovery because of the extreme amount of off-exchange trading. I think the manipulation comes from the point that it's tough to know where we would be at when so much price discovery is hampered by the lack of lit exchange trading. So like I wouldn't, it's tough to say that an individual movement of like, oh, I'm looking at this bar, I'm looking at this bar, I'm looking at this day, this 5 minutes, this 30 minutes. It's very, very tough to show like a particular time frame of manipulation in terms of like that's not related to like a news event or people lying or something like that. To me, the manipulation is much more of like kind of like an esoteric thing of we don't know where it would be at because so much trading is done off exchange, which is not moving the NBBO. It's just the trades are being based off of the NBBO. So it's just like a very big lack of price discovery. It's a huge lack of price discovery. So if we were going to have a discussion of where is the manipulation, like because people say that all the time. So many people say that, and I get it. But you hear that, and all they say is manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. The price is being manipulated. And then you ask them, oh, like, where's the manipulation? What's going on? Like, can you be very specific about this manipulation you're discussing? And like, they just kind of like shrug their shoulders. So to me, and like, if you want to take this argument or not, when you have specific to AMC and GME, 60% being traded off exchange, that is hampering price discovery. Do I specifically know where the price discovery would have led us? Well, no, I don't know, because how could you know an unknown thing? That doesn't make sense. But to me, we don't see a fair representation because more than half of the stock being traded is not leading to a new proper equilibrium. The price we're trading, it's not even half. 40% of it is being executed on a lit exchange, so that the statistical chance of less than a majority still accurately showcasing where the price discovery should be at is infinitesimally small. So we just don't even know where the price should be. People sound like liar, liar, objection. Why? Because it's damaging my case. Not enough people were told no as a child, and it shows. Next challenge, the AMC tat challenge or live stream waxing. Thoughts? Clubfoot Billy, I like where your head's at. Do you think people underestimate how many people and institutions day trade these stocks? Oh, 100%. 100% people are underestimating the general interest in these stocks beyond the apes people are actively trading it. Whenever you have a stock that has good ranges and good volatility, you're going to have people trading it because you need ranges to make money. So when stocks continually swing, that's just money making opportunity. And there's going to be a lot of people who don't give you, they don't care about the apes at all. They just are looking for the swings up and down to capitalize. Dark pools is the problem. OTC markets. No. OTC markets is the problem. But if you want to be specific about it, it's market internalizers. It's market makers, also known as retail wholesalers. So out of that 60% off exchange trading, 55 of it is market makers. 5% of it is dark pools. Off exchange trading is the best way to describe what a big problem is right now in the market. But that problem, if you want to get very specific and detailed about it, is much more from market makers. Some people think that's just a semantics argument. I don't think it is at all, because you fix those in two different ways. Very much two different ways, but they both lead to off-exchange trading. But a high majority of off-exchange trading for any equity, inclusive of AMC and GME, is market makers, not dark pools. Matt, thanks for all you do. People just need to relax and eat some Cheez-Its. Long on Cheez-Its and AMC. Inflation up in a big way, one pipeline canceled and another being discussed. People are about to be hurting in a bad way. How does this affect us? Specific to AMC and GME, it's a tough call. So I know that there is an interesting argument of, if the market were to fall, then there's a chance that the people who are short AMC and GME will feel pressure and they're going to want to cover their position, hence sending the stock up. That's a very interesting theory. But on the same coin, the flip side, you also have people such as BlackRock and Vanguard that are long AMC, long GME, and if they feel the pressure, they might get out of their long position. So it's kind of a race to the bottom of who feels the pressure at a greater magnitude and also more quickly. Over the past couple months, AMC has more so been moving in line with the Russell 2000, and GME's been kind of moving in a similar manner to AMC. So when you have those three, not directly, but somewhat related with a little bit of wiggle room, I personally think a gigantic sell-off in the broader market would probably not be good. I think it would just cause panic. So it's not, I understand the argument from both sides, but it's not something that I'm particularly rooting for, because I am not convinced that it's definitively a positive thing for the MOAS. And on top of it, it's any market sell-off, recession, depression, it's not good for humanity. It's not good for society. It's not good for culture. So I would never be here hoping for some sort of giant market sell-off. What's your thoughts on AMC allowing businesses to rent out a room for conferences, PowerPoints, use it like an auditorium? I think that's a pretty cool idea, especially if you have a lot of movies are shown later in the day. So almost if they rented out that space early in the morning, because at that point, no one's using it anyway. I kind of like that. I like that concept, Nate. Very creative. Hey, Matt, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your brain. If you had a 38 call expiring the 12th, would you hold to earnings or sell maybe more stock? Thank you. Dofrey. how risky you feeling? I took a small position just because I like AMC. I mean, I am feeling particularly good about what's going on right now. Seasonally, they destroyed it in October with the box office. I'm fingers crossed that there's some sort of exciting announcement. I'm just betting on the leadership's team, their ability to build up enthusiasm. So with that in mind, I'm feeling pretty good. So I took a small bet, a small extra lotto play, but I still just have my shares. Like, my shares are my core position right now. I mean, I was able to build up my quote unquote grub stake through options earlier this year. And then I ended up building on my own stock position. And now I'm just comfortable with my stock position. Once in a while, I'll mess around with some options right now, but it's just easier to sit on stock. If NBBO doesn't apply to pre and after market hours, what's stopping coordinated attempts to buy AMC at 75 or sell at 25? Short ladder attacks. So it still comes down to the fact of you don't have to trade within the NBBO, but you still have to get I forget what the exact terminology is. Basically, whoever's executing your trade, they still have to either give you the best bid or the best ask that they can possibly find. So they would run into other regulatory issues beyond the whole NBBO thing. The NBBO guarantees it's within that, but even outside of the NBBO, people executing your trade, aka FINRA members, they still have a legal obligation to get you the best fill that you can. So if you're trying to buy a stock and are people willing to sell it to you at 50, but someone else is willing to sell it to you at 75, well, they have to fill you at 50. They can't go all the way up to 75. So there's still other regulations that even when the NBBO is not in place, the executing member still has to give you the best execution they can find you. Like, that's a legal obligation. Yo, dumb question, but are capital gains based on the date you bought your first share or security, or every share taxed individually? Rob S, this is a great question, and once again, please ask a CPA about it. But for me, it's been all the individual ones. So previously, when I've worked at a company and I got stock as part of my payment, like, it was from whenever I got that new stock that started a new 1 year timer. So 1 month. So I was always staggered by a month of when it switched from short-term gains to long-term gains, not just your first buy. Loopring is crushing it. Someone just said announcement was made. What kind of announcement was made? Who said that? Christina Williams. What announcement are you chatting about? Confirm per Fidelity, it's per share. Thank you, Mitchell Anderson. With that, please just double check with your tax person. That's also been my experience. I agree with Mitchell, but I can't tell you about taxes. I'm not a CPA. I'm just waiting on... Someone said that an announcement was confirmed. SDA LRC is the easiest play I've ever been in. Hey, I'm confident in AMC, or GME. I'm confident in their NFT marketplace, and I hope Loopring can really deliver on it. AMC takes hours to get a gain, sometimes whole days, even with great expectations, and the sell-off takes 5 minutes. Matt says it's not manipulation. I mean, that doesn't really make sense. It's still willing buyers. It's still willing sellers. And for you, I mean, the counterexample to what you said is just look at June 2nd. I mean, that thing started ripping. So if you think if you're long on it, whenever you see green action, you're gonna be like, oh no, this makes sense, and it's a human thing. It's your own bias. You're like, yeah, no, this makes sense to me. I want it to happen. It's beneficial to me. But I'm telling you, on June 2nd, every short out there, every market maker out there was like, this is manipulation. Like that's just like a human psychology thing. Like if it goes in your favor, you're gonna be like, this makes sense. This is reality, this like adds up. And then if it goes against you, it's just a human thing, a personality, or not a personality, a psychology thing to be like, wait, no, this is like inappropriate. Like I said, the argument that something dipped quickly is not in any way indicative of manipulation. There are other things we could use to point out manipulation, but the speed at which something sells off is not manipulative. What else do we have? Live stream waxing. Short versus long-term capital gains can be found on Investopedia IRS website with different brackets. Let's be smart and save money, not giving it to the government. Darkened Flame 32. If you change the daily chart on AMC, the manipulation magically disappears. That's the difference, an hour of gain and 7 minutes to sell. That's literally my point. If it was an hour to sell, then your point is valid. No, the speed at which things occur don't matter at all. We know there's more volatility in the morning than midday. There's more volatility at market open, market close. Speed is never, I've never seen speed of a movement being indicative of manipulation. And maybe it is, but you would have to find some sort of proof that, like, if we just have a theory, like, okay, what's the proof of it? Like, you have to have, like, for you to throw a theory out there, it has to be testable. So for example, I don't know, we could probably bring up like a random stock. I don't like, I'm trying to even think of, so like, for example, Tesla right here, it took a while to build up and then it was a very quick sell-off. So like, was that also manipulation when it dropped from 1,240 to 1,217 just because it happened more quickly than the buildup? This comes back to a very important saying in the stock market. And this is true time and time and time again. If it is manipulation, maybe, but we need some sort of evidence of that. Like we have to find cases or some sort, like we can't just say it's manipulation because you're upset that it sold quickly. We need to find cases of some market maker doing that or hedge funds attacking it that way. But I've never seen anything about speed being related to manipulation. But there is a very, very important saying in the market that you're going to find in probably like every other trading book you ever read. Stairs up, elevator down. What does that mean? It means that you take stairs up and you take an elevator down. So let's take a look at the stock market. Check this out. Look at the S&P 500. Stairs up, slow, 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 very quick sell-off. And you could be like, okay, Matt, that was COVID. That doesn't count. Even check this out. Stairs up. Look at how much more expedient the sell-off is, even in the short periods. Look at this. Stair up, stair up, stair up, stair up. So from the same period, it took half the time for the sell-off. And why is that? So this is the S&P 500. It's the reason we have this saying of stairs up, elevator down is because fear is a greater emotional driver than greed. People are slowly but surely greedy. They're buying. But as soon as people see things go red, they panic. Like I said, fear is a much greater emotional driver than greed. And we see that play out time and time again. You can see it on many equities, many ETFs, stairs up, elevator down. And that's also, you can almost see it in VIX with the volatility. As the SPY goes up, volatility slowly down. But as soon as the SPY starts to sell off, you see a giant spike in volatility. And that's just another metric that's representative of stairs up, elevator down. Matt, you have got to quit using logic. Someone just said it's due to gravity. Gravity is working against us on the way up and it works with us on the way down. Whatever it is, if you want to believe me on that or not, that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But what we should all be able to agree on is AMC is up 7%, GME is up 2.5%, Loopring is apparently up 44%. There's no reason to panic. There's no reason to be like, what's going on? It's a green day. And it's not just a little green day. It's not like each is up 0.5%. AMC is up quite a bit of percent as we're going into a fundamental driver. GME is up still a very noteworthy 2.5%. We're talking about multi-billion-dollar companies. I mean, AMC currently valued at 22 billion. Please, or almost 23 billion, 22.8 billion. Please understand, on a 10% gain, that means that the company is worth an extra $2 billion, almost $2.3 billion, like just created out of the ether of like, okay, this company is worth that much more now. So I think 10% at 44 to whatever, 48 versus 33 to 36, that's two different things because of how much more value you're adding to the company in just like sheer magnitude. It's taken me 9 months to accumulate my 4X shares. It will not take me 9 months to sell them. Big Dave Bulls. Exactly. So right there, people are slowly adding to their position. And when they want to lock in their gains, they usually sell in bigger chunks. And that's once again representative of stairs up, elevator down. People are typically more aggressive when they're selling than when they're buying. Say toy boat. That's weird. That's a weird one. Hypothetically, chase Loopring or wait for a cool off. I mean, if you're asking me if you should chase, you probably already know the answer is that you should not chase. I mean, with it's going to take a breather. The way AMC took a breather, the way GME took a breather, it goes up, let it take a breather, see where the demand comes back in, see where people are aggressively buying, and you move from there. LRC is still rumor. You know what they say, buy the rumor, sell the news. We're just going over all the major stock market sayings today. Clavius makes great sense. Thanks for clearing up. Happy to. Hey, the more people that we get on the same page and the more we kind of expand this hive mind, I mean, even the amount that I've learned from all of you, and then I get to share your knowledge that you've shared with me with additional people. I very much view it as like, I know we're called the apes, but I feel like we're just like a bunch of like bees, like a hive mind of bees, like a collective knowledge of what in the world is going on in the market. And I get it. It's way cooler for us to be apes than bees, but I kind of think of that as like collectively we're a community and we just want our knowledge to grow and grow and grow. So I think we need to keep doing that. People all of a sudden, has anyone noticed that people don't want like an open like debate? Like you're not allowed to bounce ideas. Like all of a sudden, if you just don't agree with some sort of like whatever concept, they're like, oh, you're a shill. Like this is positive. You have to agree with it. And if you're not an ape. When in reality, like that's not healthy. That's not a healthy community. If anything, a good community should always be seeking out truth and what's going on and talking to people like Dave Lauer, the team from IEX, Mark Kohrs, Adam Aaron, Charles Payne. We, as a community, like it's very strange to me that there's an underlying feeling that you're not allowed to disagree. You're not allowed to have a debate and be like, hang on, I'm confused here. Like, I want to understand X, Y, and Z. And people get attacked right away. Like if you just don't agree with the newest, hottest thing, you're just like, you're a freaking shell. You're a Citadel plant. That's silly. That's not a good community. A good community should be like, okay, that's a good theory. Let's test it. Let's think about it. And let's come to a conclusion as a community, opposed to just like throwing stones at people. Like, I came up with this idea. You got to believe me. It's like, no, that's not. Hey, We're like a hive mind of B apes, 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 B apes, beeps. We're a hive mind of beeps, peeps. Whatever it is, someone needs to wordsmith that for me. Just B apes. That'll work. Judith Reed, I'm so mad. I'm sorry. I hope you have a better day, Bapes. Bape is trademarked. Well, one of our current Bapes is having a bad day. Judith Reed is mad. Judith, I hope your day turns around for you. Beeps. I got called a shill once for supporting a guy who is selling to get cancer treatment for his kid. Like, bruh. Yeah, no, for me, you got to worry about what's your own pocket. If, I remember that story, or maybe it was a different story, but I do remember hearing about a story when someone was attacked because it was obviously in their family's best interest to sell because they had medical bills to pay. And we're not the arbiter of someone's good reason. If someone has to sell to pay for their kids' cancer treatment, go for it. I'm so happy that numbers moving on a screen were able to help you and your family. If someone wants to sell to buy a ping pong table for their basement, I don't care. That's them. That's what makes them happy. That's their life. To me, a big aspect of this is it's freedom. Like, I feel like so many people between '08 and your family, if that like directly impacted you, definitely the pandemic, a lot of people losing their jobs, being physically and mentally locked in a place. If somehow money acquired from this insanity gets you to the point where your life's better, you feel emotionally at ease, if you're mentally more calm, if something just brings you happiness, if you somehow get to that level and this freedom is getting you there, hey, have at it. No one is the arbiter of what makes you happy, and no one should be looking in someone else's like pocket. Obviously, there's egregious cases such as that one of people yelling at someone for paying for their kids' cancer treatment. And someone who truly believes that is like actually a piece of shit. I remember when we did the St. Jude's thing, whenever that was, people argued you shouldn't donate. You should just buy more AMC. And like, I have zero capability of being able to empathize with a parent who is currently going through a battle such as that. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't even know where I would begin to get my head to wrap around such a concept of like, you have a kid and you just got some of probably the worst news you could ever possibly receive in your life. And then just to see some like fuckwit who's like, nah, buy more AMC. You don't need to help those families. That is insane. People like that should not be in this group. Like, that's my opinion. I don't control who's in this group, but some people, their mentality and their mindset on what they think they could tell you to do, it's so wrong. Some people. Fortunately, it's a very small minority. We'll take that when we can. Fortunately, it's a very, very small minority. But like, just some of the things that I've seen people in this community say, I'm like, Jesus, like, good luck saying that in real life, saying that to a mother or a father. Like, if you said that to their face, I feel like they would just like beat your face in. A parent like who has to unfortunately use the services of St. Jude, like, God damn, that is cold. But hey, let's focus on the bright side. It's a small minority. Ignore them, move on with your life. It's all good. Can you get screwed on options if you don't have the money to buy the shares and no one wants to buy the contract, or does the issuer have to buy it? The issuer doesn't, but if it's before the expiration date, there's going to be a built out market. That's what the bid and ask is. Like, the price it's currently trading at a minimum, still going to be the bid. So you should theoretically be able to get out at that price. I see someone saying no more shares at IEX. I don't know what that means. That's like a misunderstanding. Shares don't live at an exchange. It's not like the New York Stock Exchange has like this many shares. It's not like IEX has like X amount. The NASDAQ, dark pools, market makers do. That's a different story. Remember what it is. Venues. That's the overall, that's the umbrella name for all of these. It's a venue. A venue is where buyers and sellers meet. So let's say it's just a marketplace. Like it's just like, hey, I'm a buyer. Like, and like I go to an exchange and I have a sign, I want AMC, I want AMC. And then if someone else is at that venue, say the New York Stock Exchange, and they have a sign, I want to sell AMC. Like I see their sign, they see my sign. We give each other that look and we transact. I give them cash, they give me stock. It's A-okay. But it's not like the stock lives at the exchange. It's just a place for a buyer and a seller to meet. So for example, think of it like a crazy Craigslist. Items don't live on Craigslist. Craigslist is literally just, it's a venue. It's a place for buyers and sellers to actually meet. That's all these lit exchanges are. Yeah, if you want to get technical, okay, some of the structures can get a little bit more complicated on that because some of these exchanges have their own like liquidity pools, but that's really getting into the minutia and the weeds of this argument. And I don't want to confuse people. So just in general, think of it as Craigslist. Like you're on Craigslist and you're like, I want to buy a bike. And someone else comes to Craigslist, I want to sell a bike. Okay, that's the venue. Craigslist to buying random shit is the same as a lit exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, IEX, to stocks. Like it's just people are like, hey, you meet. That's the place you go to see if someone's willing to buy or sell. I think that's a better way to think about it. Like they don't live in a dark pool. They don't live on a lit exchange. Market makers are a different equity like entity because they do have their own liquidity. They're like, they always throw a wrench into everything when I'm trying to give an example. But to say there's no more shares at IEX, that's right. It is right. Well, that's a fair statement. But what you mean is that there's no willing selling participants currently at the IEX venue, that the IEX lit exchange. It's not like IEX like holds that block. You are more likely to get robbed on the market than Craigslist. Oh, man. Matt has a Craigslist. But even with that, like, so if you can't get it, if there's not a willing selling participant, you just go to another lit exchange. You just go to like the New York Stock Exchange, you go to the NASDAQ, you go to the CBOE. There's various other lit exchanges, and you just see, hey, is anyone selling there? And even this, Norman E. I use Interactive Brokers and I say IEX in the level 2 data at the ask. Okay, so it sounds like people are actively willing to sell on IEX. Shout out Mateo JH. OnlyFans sells bikes. I heard you were selling a bike. I'm looking to buy one from a mini store for Christmas. What's the NBPO on this here? I'm just picturing a bunch of you now like kicking in the door at your local grocer. You're like, what's the NBBO on these eggs? What is the top bid and what is the top ask? The lowest ask. Are there any shares left? There's always the same amount of shares unless they do a dilution. But like on any given day, the share amount isn't changing really. In most cases, if they do a dilution, but it's more of like, are you finding a willing seller? And if people aren't willing to sell, like the price just goes up and up and up till you find the first willing seller. You're selling a bike. I feel like sometimes I use these analogies and metaphors and you guys just kind of stick with that. Hey girl, what's your sign? Mine's I want AMC. Options question. If you buy 3 calls of any stock at the same strike, one expiration that day, 130 days later, 160 days later, if there's a squeeze and you sell 3 on that day, will you pay the same? No. The additional time till expiration means that you have more extrinsic value. My sign is bull flag. Do you think AA announces SHIB, or do you think SHIB pops off on the news? I think there's a pretty fair chance of AMC accepting SHIB as, like, maybe not that they're going to accept it right away, that it might be something like by the end of the year, we will accept it type of a deal. I think the odds are actually pretty decent for like some sort of SHIB related announcement from AMC. Would you have an interview with AOC? Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to probably talk with anyone. I don't know if she's a government official who's particularly in the world of like markets, but if she is, like, if she has some sort of like, is she on the finance committee? I don't know. She might be, she might not be. If she's on like a stock market trading finance committee type deal, I think that could be pretty cool, but I just don't know what she has. I don't know her positions. What do you think about lithium long-term? Medium-term, high demand, low supply, so I think prices go up. DC Wayne, NEGG RIP. Whoa, some sort of announcement. This is one of the original like Doge acceptors. Newegg. Actually, I could probably find that out. AOC, what's it? Government positions? Is that what I searched? The first article is apparently she's worth $5 million. That's crazy. Is that true? Or is this just like a FUD? Oh, never mind. This says that she raised $5 million for some sort of effort. So I don't think it's her. I don't think she's personally worth $5 million. Different $5 million. Completely different type of $5 million. I wish there was like a website where it just said like her positions. Committees. AOC explains why she voted against the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Hey, maybe she's all about crypto taxes. Maybe she's like fighting for us and she's like, hey, we shouldn't tax them like this. That's a felony. And she recently blasts oil execs for setting future on fire at tense hearing. I don't know what committee she's on. No clue, no clue. I'll have to look into it. But in more of a general statement on the subject, I think it's important to speak with any government official who's willing to speak with us. I don't know if you guys saw this over the weekend, but I was in a mood and I just put, imagine a world where our politicians actually cared about improving the society and culture that surrounds them. Instead, lip service and contributions to the next campaign reign supreme. Why was I getting so salty? So this ding dong, Senator Pat Toomey, he's trying to create a bill that stops the SEC from banning payment for order flow. And I wrote him a very heartfelt letter to his office. Like, I try to go through the official channels of, I guess, like how you speak to a senator, because he's like, hey, thank you again for your correspondence. If you'd like to learn more about my activity in the Senate, blah, 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 and sign up, do not hesitate to contact me in the future if I can be assistance. Well, listen, Pat, I did contact you because I thought you could be of assistance. And I wrote him this letter, and it was a lot of words, and I had to get my grammar checked and all of this and all of that. And I just wanted to talk to him about settlement cycles, pattern day trading, 13F reports, payment for order flow, specifically off exchange trading, FTD reports. I wrote all these things I wanted to talk about. And then I just get this, and he just gives me this lip service. Thank you for your correspondence. And he's just telling me about all the crazy work he did with COVID-19. And he's working on the banking and housing and urban affairs. And my name's Pat Toomey. And I do all this great stuff. Dude, if you do this great stuff, don't give me a freaking automated email. So my use for politicians, borderline zero. But one of these days, we're going to find one who like is actually going to listen. Yeah, I just got a generic. I just like how it ends. They're like, if I could be of assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Dude, we did reach out. Like, it's just such bullshit. It happens. Here are the AOC facts. House Committee on the Finance Services, the Committee on Oversight and Reform, Select Committee on Economic Disparity and Fairness in Growth. Those are some that seem to like work. You didn't send him money, Matt Kohrs, you'll be ignored. What if I transfer him ownership of AMC? Like, instead of giving him USD, I'm like, hey, here's a better store of value. And I just like donate to his campaign AMC stock. And I'm like, hey man, don't spend this all in one place. Just hold on to it. Loopring not available on Robinhood. Robinhood doesn't have that many cryptos, and also buying on Robinhood or Webull is weird because it's not a real wallet anyway. You own like a fancy IOU. Can you write to Kenny next, please? Dear Mr. Griffin, I'm sure you've heard of me. My name is Matt Kohrs, and I stream from my basement. You have spent hundreds of dollars paying your interns to watch my live stream, and I would love to talk about the business model you have created, which segments the entire retail trading public off of lit exchanges and allows for poor price discovery and market inefficiency, and on top of that, increases to the fragility of our overall markets. Please text me or MySpace me at your earliest convenience. Love, Matt. That'd be my letter. Ro Kahana. I don't know who that is. The artsy cart for a hot minute. No idea what came of it. I have to look into it. Ro Kahana. Don't know who that is. We have too many political officials. Also, I don't know if, so from what I gather, I don't think, so the reason I reached out to Pat Toomey is he's on the Senate Finance Committee, and I also happen to be a constituent. He's a PA senator. I live in PA. So I was like, hey, this works. But I also don't know how much he cares because I don't think he's seeking re-election. Like, I think he's done so he's not really looking for people to contribute or caring about votes or anything. I think he's doing whatever he needs to like line his pockets or set up a job in the private sector. It's just a different situation. Instead of eat the rich, let's change it to eat the politicians with some fava beans and nice. The devil, you know. Super PAC Pat. You live in PA. I thought you were on the moon, heading to the moon. Like that's my next vacation is to the moon. He might go work at Citadel. Imagine how wild that would be is we wait like 6 months after his, I guess, like position concludes as senator, and then he's just working there. That's the concept known as a revolving door. To my understanding, there's literally no rules against going from like the government regulatory sector, like right into the private world. In fact, I think that was documented in The Big Short of someone just working at the SEC, and then right away they get hired in the private sector. It's referred to as a revolving door, and it's kind of a crazy concept that you could just do that. 5 p.m. today, Matt, will you be streaming it? Yes. So the market closes in 22 minutes, and the stream, like, we're going to conclude it there. And then AMC has their earnings announcement at 5 p.m. Eastern. So I'll start a stream up like 15 minutes before that gets going, so we could talk about what to look for. We can listen to the entire earnings, and then I'll do a breakdown at the end of it. But once again, that's in about an hour and 20 minutes. We will be doing an extra stream for anyone who wants to listen to the AMC earnings announcement. What else do we have? Did I miss anything? Earnings 5 p.m. Eastern. Matt will cover it. Yes. We'll be doing it. We'll have some fun. We'll play some music. We'll hang out. We'll share some feelings. We'll bounce some ideas off of each other. We'll laugh. We'll cry. We're going to have a good time. Toomey is my neighbor. No joke. Weird dude. What's the consensus on Loopring coin? A lot of people jacked up about its potential. It's full of potential, especially as it relates to GameStop. I feel like I haven't checked in on the news today. Are we missing like any big news? Hello? Live. President Biden honors 2021 NBA champions Milwaukee Bucks. That's some news that we care about. Definitely some news. What else do we have in terms of breaking news? DWAC seeking funding through a PIPE offering. It's kind of crazy that they need more funding already. I thought the original entity already had like 300 million in it. Kong posting, what's up? What else do we have? I'm just trying to see if there's anything you need to know before the market closes. DWAC has begun scheduling meetings with PIPE investors, raising that money. What else do we have? What's trending right now? Celtics, Boston, State Farm, Monday Motivation, Mac Jones, Bears. Here we go. Howard Stern. Jaylen Brown. I'm not seeing any major developments. Hang on. A couple more things for us to all check. Nope. Wrong website. Tesla in talks with Quebec government in multi-billion investment into battery production. All right. Michael Flynn, Jason Miller, and John Eastman subpoenaed in January 6th House probe. That doesn't sound fun. What else do we have going? Investors are piling into infrastructure stocks after House passes Biden bill, such as Caterpillar. That's a good example, but yeah, we were talking about that early this morning. Oh, what else I wanted to ask you guys. I forgot to do it this morning. So if you're aware of what Elon did over the weekend and his question to the Twitter, should I sell? Should I not sell? I don't think there's any SEC officials in here, but I was just curious your thoughts in general. Maybe we're not speaking from a legal standpoint, but that Twitter poll, do you think it should be legal or illegal? Like, do you think what he did is above board and it's freedom of speech and people can say what they want? Or do you think that was equities manipulation? So basically just comment legal or illegal. I just wanted to get the community's thoughts on what transpired over the weekend with Elon, the Twitter poll, selling 10% of his stake. Are you streaming the earnings call? Ooh. Legal, illegal. I think the legals are winning. Here, I'll just make a poll. If he made a poll, we'll make a poll. Here, legal, illegal. Ask your community. All right, just posted a poll. And remember, when you're answering this, I don't mean like your interpretation of the law. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that what he did should be legal, or do you think what he did should be illegal? Not the interpretation of current law. It's just like your own feeling on if that action is a legal one or an illegal one. I guess for like the morality or the functionality of society, our markets, all that stuff. Illegal only because his bro traded on the info. That's a good point. His brother sold the day before. That's like a little suspect. I think Elon is selling to buy AMC. He sold enough that he actually might be able to buy AMC. Like, I mean, like buy it. Like he could be all of AMC. He could consume the company. That's roughly how much Tesla he sold. 10% of his stake is literally AMC's entire value currently. That's a good point though, Bendy. Illegal because his brother traded. Because at a certain point, like, he's just being honest about it. He's like, whatever. Like, it's not like he made a position and then, like, pumped it up or down. He put it out, and then he announced what he would be doing, and then that action hasn't come through yet. Interesting. An interesting split. Thus far, 2/3 of people are saying illegal. Legal, and 1/3 saying illegal. Legal, you're all jealous that nobody cares what you think. So what's the difference when a reporter does the same? I kind of agree with that. I think the only sticky thing to this is, did his brother know he was about to put that out there? That's the only one, is like his brother part of it. Should a single individual, in my mind, be able to say that they want to do something publicly? Well, yeah, in a certain sense, that's what I do. I'm just like exponentially less important than Elon Musk. But with Elon Musk's influence, his brother having that knowledge of him potentially doing that, that's where, to me, I don't know if it gets illegal, but it seems to maybe potentially get a bit immoral. No way to prove his brother knew. Oh, I don't think we could prove any of this. I'm just saying, like, let's say his brother did know. Like, that's where it gets a bit weird. Legal and illegal. He did it on a public forum, but told his brother earlier. Yeah, that's where it gets a bit weird of like, you know, someone has influence, and if someone has that information beforehand, that seems a bit suspect. Knowing info isn't illegal, acting on it, info is. Okay, that's a fair point, but like, I mean, he obviously did ask on it. He sold like right beforehand. Just a thought. I was just curious. I mean, it doesn't really, I think it bounces back. I don't think this is going to be like detrimental to the company in the long run. And yes, I agree. There's no way to prove it. This was all hypothetical, folks. I'm not a lawyer. I don't think many of us in here currently are lawyers. And if you are a lawyer, maybe you want to share your specific insights. And if the SEC is watching me, I get it. You hate me. I hate me. We can all agree that we hate Matt. But also, if the SEC is listening, could you just help us all out as a community and tell us if what Elon did is legal or illegal? And then also his brother, feel free just to like hack into my phone or something and send a text. That would be, or if the FBI is listening, just once again, you have access to all of my technology. Just like send us a little message. This is for the betterment of the chat. Breaking: Elon Musk to buy AMC in cash. What if that's the big announcement? Adam Aaron, he's like, all right, like he goes over all of the Q3 reports. He's like this, and this, and we have an announcement. And then we hear like Elon in the background kicking like the Kool-Aid man through the wall, and he just has like a fat stack of cash, except it's really just a USB with a bunch of Bitcoin on it. He's like, here's for AMC, and he just drops like 25 mil in a USB. He's like, yo, the password is to Mars. And Adam Aaron's like, all right, thanks, man. Plot twist. Elon's brother is Lord Edge. Elon knows what he's doing. He's disguising it as a man of the people when he really needs to liquidate to pay taxes on his options expiring March. Yeah, probably. We saw that article from CNBC. Like, it's reasonable. I just was going through a little bit of I guess a brain exercise with everyone. I was trying to keep everyone limber. I want everyone to be mentally agile for the earnings announcement. Apes and Teslas, not Lambos. Fair trade. All right, here's a question. And this is not going to happen. Whatever percentage you own of AMC, if Elon consumed it, would you take the money? Or would you take that same percentage ownership in Tesla? I know this is going to happen. You can't be like, but Matt, that would never happen because of reason XYZ. Okay, that's fine. I agree with you. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if Elon decided to buy all of AMC, and you had two options, you either get the buyout amount or you get the same percentage you currently have of AMC, but in Tesla. Which would you do? Would you take the cash or would you take the percentage ownership in Tesla? Same percentage money. Ooh, a little bit split. More Tesla. Give me that money. But some people are saying Tesla. Interesting. Once again, I know this isn't happening. I'm just curious where everyone's at. Some people are saying 50-50. That's fair. That's fair. Someone just says, I like Jesus. This chat's wild. Money and buy Lucid, like particularly in FU to him. All right, let me end this poll about the legal, illegal. 60, it was perfectly 2/3 to 1/3. Have the shorts covered if no AMC? Imagine. All right. Our third and final brain exercise of the session. I promise. No more brain exercises for today. Imagine if everything were the exact same of GameStop or AMC, and the only difference is that the CEO was not Adam Aaron, was not Ryan Cohen, but was Elon Musk. Like, a lot of us are out here and we're like, are they going to say something about naked shorts? Are they going to say something about manipulation? And then you have the CEO of a different company asking the Senate finance chairman if his pee-pee came, which is the most wild shit ever. Imagine how unhinged and off the railroads Elon would go in situations like this. Like, he already did stuff with GameStop. The tweet about it, he's just like, he said something, he said game stonk or something like that back in January or something along those lines, and it went haywire. Imagine if he was the CEO of it as well. Oh man, it would go so freaking wild. Like, the dude would take down like the entire economic system before he like kneed down to everyone. He's just something else. He said he would put the GameStop logo on Starship if it hit 1,000. That'd be pretty cool. Real question is, would you sleep with Elon for 2% of his net worth? I'd have to get my wife permission first. 2%? You're saying 2% of $338 million? Wouldn't even think about it. Obvious, yes. Obvious. 2%? That's that's $6 billion. That's like $6.7 billion. Easy. Like, you wouldn't even have to tell me the percentage. As long as it's a positive percentage, I would just hit the yes button. Like, it's just so much money. When I sleep with Elon Musk for $6.7 billion. So Logan Ryder just said I would do it on live TV. Oh man, that would be. Some of these comments are so off the wall. Kinky Kong, I'd sleep with Elon if I had to pay him that much. Kinky Kong really spitting the truth here. Really spitting some truth. Profile pic and NEGG's ripping. Gee. A chat sus AF. I would too, though. Cootery. I'd pay premium to see such nonsense. It's like, not only are you getting the $6.7 billion, but it's like the kickstart to an OnlyFans career. Or am I streaming the earnings call? Yes. Yes. Man, this chat's gone off the rails today. Dark and Flame, I would call him Daddy Musk. Secure that bag. I would let Elon paint me like Rose from Titanic. Jesus. Didn't his brother sell and execute the contract the same amount? No. It wasn't equal. BSG. He sold about 108 million worth. Citadel intern watching this down bad. It's like Scooby-Doo, but the question is, what would Matt do for a family-sized box of Cheez-Its? I would respond to that with another critically acclaimed movie, Mean Girls, and I would say the limit does not exist. Matt, would you mind putting every duck item you own on for earnings call? Don't know if it would be considered market manipulation, though. Gee. Oh, wow. Oh, Alessandro. All right. Definitely going to YouTube. I have a feeling is going to be emailing me after this stream. This one's going to get taken down. Here comes another Matt Kohrs strike. It was worth it, though. It was worth it. AMC, we have how much longer? 2 minutes, 20 seconds. AMC above that breakout zone at 44.50 on nice volume. Currently it's traded 64 million. The 10-day average is 39. So we beat it by 50%, a 50% increase. This is nice. This is a high volume technical breakout heading into a fundamental development. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's see how this goes. Let's go AMC. Where is Tesla? Tesla 1162, Lucid 46, up 10%. Prague holding 350. Bitcoin recaptured 66,000. Ethereum just below 4,800. What else do we have? Loopring still crushing it. It hit 250. Currently trading at 222. Cardano back above 2. Hex is getting its teeth kicked in right now. Man, that one's not good for me thus far. Earnings call starting. The earnings call isn't starting for an hour. We have about 60 minutes. Remember, daylight saving ended here in the US, so everything's all wonky and messed up. Did I see the AMC news on Benzinga? If AMC breaks resistance in the pennant pattern, shorts could be toast. The company announced will team with the Walt Disney Co. to bring 4 fan favorite movies back to the big screens for its November 12th to 14th at more than 200 AMC locations. I'm sure they'll be discussing this in the earnings announcement broadcast tonight. What else do we have? Solid stuff. I mean, I've been talking about this pennant for quite some time now. This breakout is a big deal. I mean, it started June 18th, connected all the way to September 13th, breakout closing above it. And okay, I don't want to be all sunshine and rainbows. Obviously, we have fake out breakdowns, which means we could have fake out breakouts. That is a possibility. But if very positive things are said, we could break above 48.30-ish, 48.50, 80, just the mid 48s. If something positive like that happens and we get up there tomorrow, man, I think it could be a runaway train to 53. And then if we get above 53, I think we're talking about the mid 60s. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is closed. So AMC closed out the day at 45, which was a gain of 8%, and GME closed out the day at 218.64, which is a gain of 2.5%. An absolutely phenomenal day. Just so you know, in terms of Ortex, a net return of 1.35 million shares, short interest is 16.47%. For GME, a net return of 167,000 shares, estimated short interest of 10%. So here is the dealio. AMC kicked ass today, GME kicked ass today, Loopring kicked ass, Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's a lot of money making opportunity, a lot of exciting things. NEGG went haywire, DWAC went haywire when they announced the whole pipe thing. Lots of movement, lots of money making opportunities. So I hope you're able to get some. Now, if you are particularly interested in AMC, just so you know, I will be doing a live stream of the earnings announcement in less than an hour. In about 45 minutes on this channel, I will have another stream going. It'll be AMC earnings announcement. Just so everyone knows, I'll start it in about 45 minutes and the actual call starts in about an hour. So what I'm going to do is those first 15 minutes, I'll be explaining what you should be listening for. And then from there, we're going to listen to the announcements. And afterwards, I'll be doing a breakdown on everything that's going on. So once again, that's all kicking off in about 45 minutes right here on this channel. Be there or be square. But I need to obviously get some of that going, rocking, but it will be a whole new stream. In the meantime, thank you for all of the support. Thanks for the new subs. Thank you for the likes. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I will catch you in about 45 minutes. Thank you so much for the support. And as always, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.